Asterisk, in the heart of numismatic history lies a coin that whispers stories from a time that still lingers in the echoes of Great Britain's modern journey. The 1975 UK coin, modest in size yet mighty in its heritage, offers more than just a glimpse into British currency. It is a miniature canvas bearing the marks of a nation navigating change. As fingers trace its ridged edges, one can't help but feel connected to an era where the monarchy stood tall and tradition was being quietly reshaped. Asterisk, this particular coin emerged during a quiet, transitional phase in the United Kingdom. Queen Elizabeth II had already reigned for over 2 decades by 1975, yet her portrait on the obverse still held the youthful elegance of the second portrait, crafted by Arnold Machin. Her regal gaze, encircled by Latin inscriptions, was not merely a representation of sovereignty, it was a symbol of continuity in an evolving world. The simplicity of her profile on this coin balances perfectly with the historical weight it carries. Asterisk, though the coin does not bear the celebration of a specific event, its date is anchored in a year charged with social and political undercurrents. Britain was wrestling with economic turmoil, inflation loomed large, and the question of identity within the European economic community sparked national debates. To hold a 1975 coin is to hold a token from a year when the British people were asking themselves where they stood in the world and what traditions they were willing to carry forward. Asterisk, the reverse of the coin tells a quieter story. Depending on its denomination, whether a halfpenny, 1 penny, or 2 pence each, design carries a unique emblem from British heraldry. Perhaps a crowned portcullis or a seated Britannia holding her trident waits there on the tail side. These designs, rooted in medieval symbolism, link the coin to centuries of governance and pride. It's as if the coin makers of 1975 were reminding the public that in times of uncertainty, the nation's identity could still be found in ancient symbols. Asterisk collectors often overlook coins from the mid-70s, assuming their stories are too recent or too ordinary to matter, but the truth is far from it. These coins were the last of an era before the introduction of new portrait designs and before decimal coinage had fully settled into the rhythm of everyday life. In fact, 1975 lies only 4 years after the decimalization of the UK currency. A monumental change that saw shillings and pence replaced by a new decimal logic. The 1975 coin still carries the freshness of that change, yet also the residue of what came before. Asterisk, when we consider its material, cupro, nickel, or bronze. Depending on denomination, we encounter another layer of story. These metals were chosen for their durability, their sheen, and their symbolism of modest strength. The wear and tear on a 1975 coin today speaks volumes of how many hands it has passed through, how many vendors it has met, how many pockets it has slept in. It is not just a coin. It is a silent traveler, a witness to decades of untold tales. Asterisk, numismatists often find themselves fascinated by the smallest details, a slight variation in minting, a hint of an error, or the fading of a once sharp feature. On some 1975 UK coins, the crispness of the Queen's profile may now be softened by time, and yet that erosion only adds to its character. The coin no longer just represents value. It represents endurance. Asterisk, in the backdrop of rock music, political upheaval, and cultural shifts, the 1975 UK coin kept its humble post in the pockets and purses of the British people. While David Bowie was redefining British sound, and Margaret Thatcher was rising in political prominence, the coin simply did its job, quietly exchanged for milk, a bus ride, or a newspaper. Always present but never demanding attention. Asterisk, yet today that same coin demands curiosity. Not for its monetary value, which remains modest, but for the richness of the era it reflects. A young collector might see only a tarnished disc, but a seasoned historian would recognize the depth of meaning that lies beneath its surface. It is a key to understanding how nations adapt while maintaining an unshaken identity. Asterisk, even its scent, yes, coins carry a scent tells a tale. That faint, metallic aroma connects us to markets, rail stations, rainy pavements, and the warmth of old pub counters. Every sensory detail binds us to a past that feels strangely close, even though half a century has passed. Asterisk, this coin also marks a unique phase in numismatic design. It was a time before flashy commemoratives flooded circulation, before polymer notes took the center stage, and before digital payments threatened to erase the tactile joy of coinage altogether. The 1975 UK coin reminds us of a time when coins still held a sense of personality, of physical belonging in a hand or a till asterisk, and so it rests perhaps now in a collector's velvet-lined drawer, perhaps still hiding in an old purse forgotten in the attic. Its value cannot be measured solely in pounds or pence. Rather, its worth lies in what it represents, a preserved slice of British life, a still image in the fast-reeling film of history. Asterisk, to look at it under a magnifying glass is to observe history with precision. The sharp edges may be worn, but they are battle scars of relevance. It is not rare by mintage, but it is rare in spirit because it continues to speak when most others have fallen silent. Asterisk. It stands as a reminder that even the most ordinary objects can become extraordinary with time. And in this case, the 1975 UK coin is not merely a remnant. It is a resilient voice, a metallic memoir from the days when people still counted change, wrote letters by hand, and felt the world turning slowly with each passing year, asterisk, so the next. Time you encounter a small coin dated 1975, don't let its simplicity deceive you. Peer into its details, feel its surface, and let your imagination step back into that very year. For in that tiny relic lies a world you can still touch, one that once existed, quietly on the palm of every British citizen. If you'd like a version in video script format, or specific to a denomination like the 1 penny or 2 pence 1975 UK coin, just let me know.